Next, we got Larry Elder. You know what time it is. Let's get it.
I got a question. What about black racism, black bigotry, and black anti-Semitism? I mean, it's an article of faith that Donald Trump is a racist, right?
References to Donald Trump as a racist slowly increased over time, but they were always met with challenges. How do you know he's a racist? And the American news media has gone through years now of hair splitting on the difference between saying something racist and being a racist, as if there is a difference.
The morality issue. This is about whether or not you will continue to vote for and support a president who is a racist, who is a misogynist,
who's killing the environment,
who is putting children in cages, who is separating families, who is dividing our country. If you are going to vote for that person and you are not going to speak out against racism, you are complicit in what he is doing to this country, period.
And of course, black.
Yep, man, you heard the little cheers in the back. Man, all right, see what you want to see with Donald Trump, right? This is that. I haven't seen this much division now between black and whites now than ever than when Donald Trump was the president. You guys know what I'm talking about. Every time you look and you turn, somebody's suing somebody for racism. Let me know if I'm lying. Everywhere you look now is, they got treated me this way. They're racist. I'm suing. Racist. I'm suing. Racism. I'm suing. Everywhere you turn. I only saw it probably happen like 2 or 3 times when Donald Trump was the president. I think I have seen it like 15 lawsuits in the past 2 months. Everything is racist. Everything is racism now. You can't do no wrong. If you do wrong, it's racism. It's getting played out.
Blacks are oppressed by systemic racism, institutional racism, structural racism, and former presidential Democrat candidate Beto O'Rourke gave us a brand new one.
Racism in America is endemic. It is foundational.
Foundational racism. Damn. Now, what about black racism, black bigotry, and black anti-Semitism?
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
Really? What do you call this?
If you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice.
You know, I can't find the word. I'm looking for the word. I found the word. The word is bigotry. Never mind what Barack Obama once said about being black.
One of the great changes that's occurred in our country since I was your age is the realization there's no one way to be black. I take it from somebody who's seen both sides of the debate about whether I'm black or not.
Now, about black racism, a Rasmussen poll asked blacks, whites, and Hispanics, of these 3 groups, which is the most racist? 37% of American adults think most black Americans are racist. Just 15% consider most white Americans racist, while 18% say the same of Hispanic Americans. Among black Americans, 31% think most blacks are racist, 24% consider most whites racist, 15% view most Hispanics that way. Among white adults, 10% think most whites are racist, 38% believe most blacks are racist, and 17% say most Hispanics are racist. End of quote. In other words, more whites think blacks are racist than they think whites are racist, than they think Hispanics are racist. Among Hispanics, more Hispanics think blacks are racist than believe whites are racist or believe blacks are racist. Among blacks, more blacks believe blacks are racist than they believe Hispanics are racist or whites are racist. What does that tell you? Now get this. A 1999 article in the LA Times talked about how Hispanic landlords were discriminating against would-be black tenants, and how black landlords were discriminating against would-be Hispanic tenants. 2 recent studies of rental practices found that Latino landlords are discriminating against African Americans and black landlords are discriminating against Latinos at levels comparable to those practiced by whites against minority groups a decade ago. End of quote. Now,
like where I used to work at like years ago, be the vendor guy would come in, bringing like sodas and, you know, stuff like that for like the vending machines and stuff like that. And one of the white guys was telling me like, hey, Kendel, you ever notice that Spanish guy? He don't even say good morning to me, even though he knows I work in this. Cause we got different departments. And he was like, Kendel, you ever notice he doesn't really say nothing to me? Like, not like good morning, good afternoon, nothing. But when he sees you, he's like, hey, good morning. I was like, nah, I never paid attention. And plus I was a little younger then too. So I was like, nah, I never noticed that. He was like, yeah, he's like, that's weird. So the guy asked him like, hey man, like, I knew you was coming, like, how come you don't say good morning? See, he was like, I don't have to say good morning to you. Wow. And then like a few days, I never told him, but when I had spoken to the guy had told me he don't like white people. And he was Spanish. If you didn't know, if he didn't speak, you would have sworn he was white. But it's crazy. You would think he would be racist towards me, but he was actually racist towards the white guy. Yo, it's mind-blowing how different. We are very not even diverse, but we are so separate with all this racism and stuff like that, that it goes to any race, not only white people. So I can see where he's going with this.
Now, what about black versus white and white versus black violent crime? Heather McDonald, a researcher at the Manhattan Institute. In 2018, there were 593,598 interracial violent victimizations, excluding homicides, between blacks and whites last year. Blacks committed 537,204 of these interracial felonies, or 90%, and whites committed 56,394 of them, or less than 10%. End of quote. Now, what about hate crime? It certainly is true that blacks, at 13% of the population and at 28% of the victims, are disproportionately likely to be a victim of a hate crime. But it is also true that blacks, at 13% of the population, are disproportionately more likely to commit a hate crime. Blacks are overrepresented among perpetrators of hate crime by 50%, according to the most recent DOJ data from 2017. Whites are underrepresented by 24%. This is particularly true for anti-gay and anti-Semitic hate crimes. End of quote. And the American Enterprise Institute notes the hate crime victimization rates in 2018 per 100,000 population of each group was as follows: 14.8 for Jews, 6.6 for Muslims, 5.5 for blacks. Adjusted for population by group, American Jews were 2.7 times more likely than blacks to be a victim of a hate crime last year, and more than twice as likely than a Muslim to be a hate crime victim. End of quote. Again, speaking of bigotry, did you know that black opposition to black-white marriages is actually slightly higher than white opposition to black-white marriages? 17% of white respondents felt interracial marriage was morally wrong, compared with 18% of black respondents and 15% of Hispanic respondents.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, like me, you know, when I was younger, I didn't really dated black girls like that, but I mostly dated white or Spanish. And when black girls see me with the white girl, yo, I swear to you, they will look at me in disgust. They'll like, you would have sworn like I took somebody's life or something. That's what they'll literally look at you. Your own people. It's like they expect you to date in your own race. Like, my experience in my own race was not good growing up. It wasn't, I didn't enjoy it. The attitude, the snappiness, the unnecessary arguments. That's interesting. When you're young, you don't want to be arguing not constantly with your girl. You're young. You're supposed to be really enjoying life at those age, like 17, 18, 16. And that's when I dated out of my race. I felt more relaxed. It was less stress, less arguments. It wasn't because they were white, because they were less combative. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys could understand where I'm coming from. But as I got older, I started, recently dated in my race. And she's a very sweet girl, nice girl. It's all about where you live. Because not all black girls are like that. Some black girls are the sweetest girls you ever met. And some of them, boy, oh boy, man. Sure, some of you fellas could relate in the comments.
End of quote. Speaking of opposition to black-white interracial marriages, in 1995 here in California, a black man named Ward Connerly led the fight to get rid of race-based preferences in the areas of hiring, contracting, and college admissions. One of his detractors is a woman named Diane Watson, also black. She was a state lawmaker in California. Here's what she said. He's married to a white woman. He wants to be white. He wants a colorless society.
Yep.
He has no ethnic pride. He doesn't want to be black. End of quote. Holy David Duke. By the way, does that apply to CNN's Don Lemon and CNN's Van Jones, both of whom are married to whites?
Ooh, get them. But I was gonna say real quickly, some of those are true though. Like you see a lot of black girls now that get the whole makeover, bleach their skin where they're like really, really fair skin to the point where they're like, the skin is like so pale, but you know you are brown skin, just like me. Like you guys know. I'm pretty sure like you guys supporting no Lil' Kim. Like look at the way she looks now. She looks nothing like the Lil' Kim back in the late 90s into the early 2000s. She looks nothing like that. It's like a totally different person and not in a good way. So some of that is true. Like some of them do try to bleach their skin in order to be feeling like they need to be accepted by the white people. That's the way I got from what Lil' Kim did, because she had no reason to, unless it was she's very insecure with herself. You know, when you according to who you date, some guys will make you feel like that, like you're the ugliest. They make you feel like something's totally wrong with you mentally. They'll emotionally drag you. So I can't judge her for that, but to bleach your skin to that type of complexion where you look so pale, you look paler than a white person, it don't look right.
That's right. The left wing Van Jones is married to a white woman, and the left wing Don Lemon is married to a white man. Now, on to black.
Wow, I didn't even know that. Whoa. Hey, you learn something new every day. I didn't even know that. Wow.
Don Lemon is married to a white man. Now, on to black anti-Semitism.
So when they talk about Farrakhan, call me a hater, you know what they do? Call me an anti-Semite. Stop it. I'm anti-termite.
You know what I say? He'll talk to me 5 years from now when he's lamed up, or 8 years when he's out of office. From the Jewish vote, the AIPAC vote, that's controlling him, that would not let him send a representation to the Darfur Review Conference, that's talking this craziness in Israel because they're Zionists. They will not let him talk to somebody who calls the spade what it is. Ethnic cleansing that's going on in Gaza, the ethnic cleansing of the Zionists is a sin and a crime against humanity.
And Alan Dershowitz, a longtime Democrat, has publicly said, had he known about this photograph with Barack Obama and Minister Farrakhan, he would not have voted for Obama in 2008. But no, let's not talk about black bigotry. Now, LeBron James, like a lot of young blacks, grew up in the inner city. And he says that when he grew up, he disliked whites because he assumed whites disliked blacks.
Ron, you can speak that because first time you were around all white people when you came to high school.
Yeah. I went to an all-white high school, Catholic high school. So, like when I first went to the 9th grade in the high school, I was on some like, I'm not white people.
Right.
Like, cause I was so institutionalized growing up in the hood, it's like they don't with us. They don't want us to succeed, the hierarchy, and then we're here. Like, matter of fact, we're underneath this chair. So I'm like, I'm going to this school to play ball, and that's it. I don't want nothing to do with white people. I don't believe that they want anything to do with I don't want no, it's me and my boys, we going to high school together, and we here to hoop. So that was like my initial thoughts and my initial shock to like white America when I was 14 years old for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
So,
and that's Catholic school, which is even whiter America. I don't know if you knew that. There are levels to white America.
It took me a little while to kind of adjust to it.
Talk about stereotyping. He thought all whites disliked all blacks. How about this? How about taking responsibility for yourself in the year 2020? How about standing up for your own actions? How about being a man?
You're my father.
I'm your son. I love you. I always have, and I always will. But you think of yourself as a colored man. I think of myself as a man.
Come on, man. Know that quote.
I'm Larry Elder, and we've got a country to save. I'll see you next time.
There's a lot of black people that are racist, and like, I'm gonna leave you guys with this right here. I pretty much said everything I needed to say throughout the video. Like, you look at I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys probably know my son and Dia Hughley. Well, Dia Hughley and my son, when I look at their page, all they do promote hate against white people. Like, I look at their posts, you only see posts of them showing something when it's a black person and a white person. They will not show you. They might post one in a month, and that's over daily posts that they do about black on black crime. They do not talk about black on black crime. Maybe my son, maybe a little more than Dia Hughley, but Dia Hughley, all he posts is the black and white, the cops or Karens or white man and a black man. He would not post something about black on black crimes. Why is that? He's pushing an agenda. That separation happen. And I read the comments, and so the black people in the comments are like totally on board. Oh, we tired of this. We tired of being treated like this. It's time for us to stand up. And they're going on in the comments. And I'm saying to myself, where's that energy for the black on black crime? A life is a life. It doesn't matter who takes it. So what are you trying to say? It's not okay for a white man to take a black life, but it's okay for a black man to take a black life? Like, how does that make any sense logically? That's why I don't really go into Dia Hughley's post unless he posts something where it's logical, it's sensible, but the agenda that they push is wrong. I don't agree with it. I agree that crime is a crime, murder is a murder, doesn't matter who does it. Wrong is wrong. And that's all they push. I'm pretty sure. Go on his Instagram page, and you guys let me know in the comments. Go on his page, and you look at all his posts. You will see. And I saw this. I'm going to leave it right here. Tyrese, right? It was two cops. Well, it was three of them. They had a guy pinned on the floor. They were beating him up, right? The cops. Because I guess he keep on resisting. All right? So he won't put his hands behind his back. He doesn't want to go to jail. You guys know, yada, yada, yada. So Tyrese come in and said, oh, I'm pretty sure that guy on the floor, pretty sure he's not white. It only happens to a black man. He didn't even zoom in. When you zoom in, and the guy's shirt got lifted up, and he turns around, and you got to zoom in to see it, right? He's white. That's all I got to say about that. So he's so pushing that agenda before he zooms in, before he really look at the video, it was a white man on the floor that the cops were beating. They were wrong. They went a little too far with that, but they only post when it's a white and a black. They do the same thing to white people. Just, they don't want to post it. You guys know the agenda they push, the separation and all that type of nonsense. There's so much stuff that goes on the internet, well, to white people, by white people, but they don't want to push that. They only want to push when it's a white man and a black man. You guys know I'm going with this, man. Until then, give me guys think about this in the comments, man, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace out.